Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us on this Tuesday evening for Crime Unveiled with Courtney Bennett. I am now joined by Lieutenant with Blanc Township Police Department, Todd Gilbert. Lieutenant Gilbert, thank you so much for joining me. Now, you all in Blanc Township Police and across the state of Michigan, you all are doing an operation this week. What is it?
So our focus is going to be school bus flashing red lights. There's a grant from the Office of Highway Safety Planning, which allows me to deploy officers to follow school buses around during their school bus routes in the morning and in the afternoon here in Blanc Township.
How important is this?
It's really important. I mean, we want children to be able to get on a bus. We want them to get to school safely without any accidents, without any injuries, and most certainly without anyone dying.
When it comes to the law of school buses, what is the law? Do you have to stop as soon as you see those flashing lights? What is it?
So we recommend that people, when they start to see those yellow lights, that they start to slow down because the red lights are coming. So we want them to stop at least 20 feet from a stopped school bus with a red light. And one of the most common misconceptions is, on a 5-lane highway, there's a lot of people that think that if the school bus is on the other side of the road, that you can go ahead and go through. And that's not true. You have to stop. The only way that you would not have to stop is if there is a clear physical barrier in the middle. So a turn lane is not a clear physical barrier, but some sort of a median or wall, or some places have just a raised stretch of pavement, kind of like Hill and 475 has a raised stretch of pavement. It's a barrier, but otherwise you have to stop no matter what side of the road that school bus is on.
Or else you get pulled over, right?
That's right. I've deployed officers already yesterday and today, both in the morning and the afternoon, and they're following the school buses around here in Blanc Township. And so far, I guess I'm a little surprised at how many stops they've made and how many violations they made. I mean, in the course of the day. I mean, I think the detail's about 2 hours. So
it's not just about pulling someone over. It's ultimately about keeping kids safe, right? I mean, sadly, we've seen these accidents where people just blow through and you have a kid that's crossing the street.
Yeah, it's for us. I mean, it's not about, the traffic fine or anything like that. It's about, first of all, I've gotten some feedback from a social media post of people saying, well, why are you publicizing this? Why are you telling the public? Well, I think the education component of this is almost as important as the enforcement of it. We want people to be aware of it and be cognizant of it as they're driving around, but then it comes the time where we do the enforcement. And, sometimes that ticket can serve as a reminder of, look, this is a violation. It's serious. The law is MCL 257. I think it's 8682, and it's a civil infraction and 3 points, up to 3 points. And then there's also enhanced penalties that actually make it a crime and not a civil infraction if there's an injury or death. And so it is extremely important. And it's not about the revenue. It's not about anything like that. It's about keeping children in particular safe.
You talk about that education component. Is that really important for people to know? Because, I mean, everyone comes across a school bus, right?
That's right. And, it is extremely important. I mean, even though everybody's had driver's training and things like that, I view it as our job as the police to also educate people whenever possible about the law. And it kind of keeps it, I think, fresh in their mind as well when they hear about it, so that when they're out driving around, it's fresh on their mind.
Most kids have been in school since middle part of August, some in September as well. Why is this a good time to be doing this operation all this week?
It's a great time because we're seeing the weather change, and pretty soon it will be, oh, I hate to say it, winter. The roads are going to start to get icy. Hence why we want people to, when they start to see those yellow flashing lights, to slow down, be careful, stop, give yourself plenty of distance so you don't slide through those flashing red lights. Or I've seen a few times where people have slid in the ditch, and caused an accident that way also.
Is it also important when the time starts changing? Because kids are going to be getting on the bus in the morning.
Right. It is. It's going to be, we're going to fall back. It's going to be darker. We want people to be aware and, watching what they're doing when they're out driving.
I know that this week you have dedicated patrols on the road, but even just a regular week in Grand Blanc Township, you all are out there, you're watching for these things. Is that right?
That's correct. We're, a cornerstone of how we police in Grand Blanc Township is traffic enforcement. We're a very visible police department. And so this is something that, while I've got extra patrols this week, it's something that we do encourage our day shift officers to be aware of, and to, do traffic enforcement on school bus areas where school buses are stopped, frequently. And, every now and then I'll put out a traffic watch where I'll specifically assign an officer to do this. And, it's something that we always want to be aware of, not just the end of October.
What's your message to the public for this week when they see extra police out there?
Stop. When you see those red flashing lights, we want you to stop. We want you to stop at least 20 feet prior to that red flashing light. And we want you to just be safe when you're operating that motor vehicle, and be really careful, because one accident can change a person's life pretty significantly, can change multiple people's lives pretty significantly. And so we want people to be careful. We want them to drive safely. We want them to drive cautiously. We want them to drive within the speed limit, and we want them to stop when it's appropriate.
Lieutenant Gilbert, is there anything else that you wanted to add that we didn't talk about?
I don't think so. I appreciate you having me on, and giving our police department another avenue to have a voice, to help educate the public, and try to keep everybody safe. That's our biggest goal here as a police department.
Well, I just want to thank you for taking the time out of your evening to share with us about this important reminder for people when they see school buses, now, not only this week, but also throughout the school year. So thanks, Lieutenant Gilbert.
Absolutely. You take care. Have a safe rest of the fall here.
Thank you. You too. Bye-bye. Well, I just want to thank you all for joining us for Crime Unveiled with Courtney Bennett on this Tuesday evening. And a good reminder to everyone out there who is driving in those school zones to be aware of those school buses that are out there. Thanks, everyone, and enjoy the rest of your Tuesday night.